Welcome back to another installment of the Cypherglass Infrastructure series, where we introduce you, the EOS community, to the people that make the Cypherglass infrastructure possible. These are the people that built our infrastructure, that maintain our infrastructure, and make sure that the EOS mainnet always stays online. So last time you were introduced to James Sutherland, the principal architect at Cypherglass. And if you haven't already, I highly recommend you take a look at that video. I'll leave a link in the description below. He is super talented and has been in the infrastructure space for more than 30 years. Yes, 30 years. But today, I'm super excited to introduce to you today the head of technology at Cypherglass, Ross Holeman, who's going to tell us a little bit about his background, what he's excited to see in EOS in the future, and why EOS is so different from any other infrastructure build he has ever done. So without further ado, here he is, Ross Holeman, the head of technology at Cypherglass BP. Enjoy.
Hey, thanks for having me, Rob. Good afternoon.
Yeah, good afternoon to you. So getting started, we were talking with James last time about his past experience and all the stuff that he's done. Can you fill us in on your past and all the stuff you've accomplished in the infrastructure world?
Yeah, I've been in it for quite a while. Started out with a small company that was a subsidiary of Procter & Gamble and Donnelly Marketing and some other companies, and started building out infrastructures there. We built out a new product that went into check stands, check lanes in grocery stores. And from there, I've kind of stayed in the infrastructure world. I worked for the state of Alaska, for IBM, for Microsoft, for Amazon, for some big companies building out big infrastructure, and it's kind of become focused on data center work. So one of my specialties, or my big specialty, is getting stuff into data centers and making it work.
Nice, that's awesome. So when we had to, install all of our different racks, install the blades in the Cypherglass, data centers, we have two, obviously, one in Kansas City, one in Minneapolis, Minnesota. That's our backup. What was that whole experience like, and how was it different from maybe some of the other jobs that you've had before?
It was a compressed time frame. We had a little bit of time to get into multiple data centers. We wanted redundancy. We looked at a lot of different data centers throughout North America and decided on going into the middle of North America. So our primary data center in Kansas City is where we host most of our gear, and then we've got full redundancy there in Minneapolis. So from a compressed time frame, that was unique. And then usually we've got a huge team of people. We've got a bunch of history with a company, and so building out a new company, new infrastructure, new coin, all of this was exciting stuff, actually. And so getting that infrastructure up in that amount of time was fun, actually. And it was fun to have from the beginning of the company all the way to where we were spun up and running the mainnet. That was an exciting time frame and an exciting period for us.
That's awesome. So as we were, installing all that infrastructure, as James was kind of planning it out, and then you were helping, build this thing and really figure out what it was we needed. What do you think was the most exciting part of our infrastructure build? Is there, certain aspects of it that stood out to you?
The coolest part to me and the most exciting part is that it's all our own stuff. So we don't run on anybody else's cloud. We're not using anybody else's gear. It's our gear. So it's our gear sitting in both data centers. All of the infrastructure is ours, from what we think of as the physical layer in what is called the EOSI model, all the way up to the application layer. So if you start with the rack, power, physical servers, VMware, all the way up to the application layer where we're running EOSIO, then that's all our gear, and it's all our infrastructure is what's cool about it. We're not running on AWS or Azure or Google Cloud. It's all our load balancers. It's our firewall. All of this stuff is Cypherglass's gear, and I think that's important as we move forward with EOS. EOS is intended and will be a solution to other cloud services, in my opinion, and so that's why we set out to build our own infrastructure.
Definitely. That's awesome. And, as we were going over all the details, that was definitely, pretty high up on all of our lists. We didn't just want to run the EOS network on a bunch of AWS servers and then basically be running on Amazon and they could just turn us off at any time. So that's cool to hear that from you as well. How has it been jumping into crypto and the EOS community in general?
It has been interesting. I had dabbled a little bit in crypto. We've looked at, we've looked at setting up some mining gear. Jesse Proudman and I, one of the other Cypherglass founders, had looked into setting up some gear over in Eastern Washington, which has the cheapest power in the United States.
Oh, wow.
And one of the things, well, it's actually, yeah, it's the cheapest power in the United States. But one of the things we kept coming back to was whether it's Bitcoin, Ethereum, or whatever you're mining, it just didn't seem to make sense from a scaling standpoint. First of all, you're looking at a huge amount of infrastructure, power burn, all of that sort of thing. So even before Cypherglass came along, it kind of didn't make sense. I owned some Bitcoin, owned some Ethereum, but it seemed as if it was a huge amount of infrastructure and energy burn for a little bit of computing that was required. So it just seemed very inefficient to me. So when I heard, the first time I heard about, I was sitting down at a dock working on my boat. Jesse called me up and said, hey, there's this whole DPoS thing, and these guys need somebody to help them, build out an infrastructure for EOS. Take a look at it. He gave me a brief description and everything. It sounds like pretty cool stuff. I'm starting up my new company, Strix Leviathan, so I'm not going to be able to be as engaged as I'd like, but it'd be cool to work on this together and build this infrastructure out. So that was when I really started delving into EOS and to the whole DPoS concept, and it's been an adventure. It's been a whirlwind adventure. We were working about 20-hour days during the mainnet. That slowed some. During the mainnet launch, it was like, really long days. We came out and, we're producing blocks right away, which was super cool. But it's just been a real whirlwind experience and one of the most fun experiences of my life, and definitely one of the maybe the most fun experience of my career. You gotta put having kids or getting married, somewhere above certain things, but It's been an experience.
That's awesome. So what are you most looking forward to? Obviously, we had those crazy days at the beginning where you and James were up basically all the time and basically never slept when we didn't know whether the mainnet was going to launch or not. But with all that in the past, now we're more stable. You're getting a good night's sleep as far as I can tell. But what are you looking forward to in the future that's coming with EOSIO, that's coming with our infrastructure? What excites you about the future?
What excites me is IPFS. I'm really looking forward to IPFS. I think it's the
IPFS shirt on.
Very nice. I couldn't even see that below the mic. IPFS, I think, is the last part of EOS that really needs to be completed for it to be a full meal deal and a full infrastructure and support for the world. So when that storage is available, I think it's really going to put EOS over the top. So I'm excited about it. I come from a storage background. I used to work for NetApp, and I've deployed a lot of storage. So I'd love to dig in and kind of build out and with James's help, architect that storage structure. I'd love to get some really cool SAN NAS gear and get that going up in the data centers, and help and work with the other BPs on getting that stuff going, because it's definitely one of my areas of expertise, and it's one of James's as well. Is that storage piece should be really cool. I'm excited about that.
That's awesome. I'm excited for that as well. And if we had to close it off here, what is something that you would say to the EOS community, to the other EOS block producers? Now's your chance. You have the floor.
One thing I'd say is it's really cool the way the different block producers have different areas of expertise. There's guys that are just crazy blockchain guys, crazy developer guys. There's other people that know infrastructure. There's other BPs that are really good at community. And I think that holistic part of the block production and part of EOS it truly is a community. And so that has come together, and it's neat to see different BPs and different people in the community actually fill these roles and these voids. It's very cool. That's been great. The other thing I would say is that I think 2019 is going to be an excellent year for EOS. We're still in crypto winter. It's a little bit frustrating for BPs, for token holders, but what's really going to make the difference is the technology. It's not just some token that you hold. It's not like buying gold. You're buying a piece of technology, and you're buying a great community. And I think that as we move forward, we're going to see EOS grow based on that technology.